Yes, 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 yes. Hey guys, Gerald Peters. Let's continue on these videos. I've been talking about this idea of the Millionaire Blueprint. Now, I started my journey with $250 in an E-Trade account about 18 years ago. So in 18 years, by following the map and the blueprint that I'm talking about here, that I give away, it's completely free in my ebook. There are no follow-ups, no mentor groups, no upsells, none of that guru bullshit. It's completely free. I received it free, therefore I'm giving it away free. This is about me giving back to what I've taken out of the universe. Now, I'm no claiming to be some rich, guy who knows it all. That's not at all what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the money code, a blueprint, that if you follow this blueprint, how rich you get inside the blueprint is up to you. Like, if you make a lot of money, you could get really rich. There's only a couple components that are going to determine you getting rich. Time, right? Time is one of the components. How long? Yield or rate of return. So rate, the return you make on your money, and the amount. So the amount you start with. So these are the variables that you actually have some control over inside of this idea of the Millionaire Blueprint. Now, if you go to my Instagram and click the link in my bio, or you go to Amazon, or shit, you may already have it at home, there's a book entitled The Science of Getting Rich. This book had huge impact on me philosophically. It's not going to tell you exactly how to make money. It's going to tell you how to think about money. And everything starts first in the mind. Science of Getting Rich says there is a science to getting rich. It's an exact science like algebra or arithmetic. There are certain laws that govern the process of acquiring riches. Once these laws are learned and obeyed by any man or woman, he or she will get rich with mathematical certainty. So what I'm showing you is a strategy that works 100% of the time. You control the variables, the variable of time, yield, and amount, okay? So those are the three variables keep in mind as you work along this Millionaire Blueprint. Now, the truth is, anyone in America, it would help if I could sit down without falling, anyone in America can get rich in 40 years saving $100 to $250 a month. But it's going to take you 40 years. Now, here's the funny thing. That's guaranteed. Like, this is historical. Simply putting your money in the S&P 500 for 40 years will make you rich. And yet some people are not even doing that. Like the layup, the easiest fucking thing you could possibly do, and they're not doing that. So if your parents right now have been alive more than 40 years and they don't have $1 million, it's because they chose not to do the guaranteed path to wealth. Now, between me and you, this is way too fucking long, right? 40 years, are you out of your mind? Now, if you remember, the three variables were what? One, time. So if we know 40 years works for everyone, what about hard chargers, financial assassins like me and you, who really get after it? What could we do to make a hell of a lot more and faster than 40 years? What if we dropped it down to 20 years? Well, a couple things we got to do. If we go to 20 years, what do we got here? So now we control the time variable. Now what do we got? The rate. So rate of return would definitely help us get there faster. In other words, if you're getting a standard 10%, what if you start getting a 20%? It's going to let you do this twice as fast. Does that make sense? And so now let's talk about amount. So we can control time, and if 40 years is too long, let's drop it down to 20 years. But now we got to work on what? Rate. So we got to be focused on rate of return. And the last one is what? Amount. So this is how much of your money, your effort, your hard work do you want to put into this process? And so if you shorten the time, you got to increase the rate or increase the amount. Does that make sense? So those are the three variables within your control. Now, within time, we all have the same amount of time. We don't know how long we're going to live. Within the rate, the variable, if we said the S&P 500 pays 10%, houses, real estate investing pays 20 to 30 if done right. Not always, but if you do houses the way I do, 20 to 30. So I'm going to show you how I shortened time to get to a millionaire. Instead of being 40 years, I got it down to like 8.2 years. Okay? Now this isn't easy, but you have to control the variables of time, rate of return, let's call it that, rate, and then the amount. So all of these are going to dictate. So we have to pick a vehicle. The S&P 500 could be a vehicle. Now if we only know we're getting 10%, so that's static, now we got to work with time and amount. The one thing, time we all have, so time's already on your side, but the amount of money you put in will determine that. So this is all within your control. So how did I get a 20 to 30% return? So let's again, this is philosophical. These numbers, you know, you don't need to comment on, yeah, you forgot about repairs and you forgot about that. Okay, don't worry about that. This is philosophical. Well, we're like talking about the science of getting rich. The blueprint, the money code is how money flows around. You got to get it in your mind. This all starts with your mind. Everything first starts with your mind. Blueprints start with your mind. So you have to understand the path, right? Don't worry about where you're going to get the money or the rates. Don't first get the philosophy, okay? You have to understand the very concept of football before you start learning how to be a quarterback, right? So the quarterback's got to understand everyone's position, not just his position. And so you're going to be the king of your empire. So you need to understand everything that's going on, all the different moving parts. And so there's going to be different asset classes you can purchase. And I talk about stocks. I like stocks. And within stocks, there's blue chip stocks. And within that, there's, you know, various dividend stocks, there's funds, there's ETFs. Like, none of this shit is complicated. So that's easy. Stocks are easy. If you're not doing stocks and you're not doing real estate, something's wrong with you. You're not even trying to do the blueprint. So, and don't forget, repetition is the mother of skill. If you want to get good at something, you have to practice. And if you're not saving money to invest to become rich, you're not even fucking practicing to get rich. So start the process of practicing. So let's start with, how did I get a 20 or 30% return? Here's a house. And you can see I'm a great artist. And there's a door. Now some gurus are going to tell you this is a bad idea. Fuck those guys. They don't know what they're talking about. This is a great idea. This business, anyone in America can get in it. You were probably born in it. You've been fucking raised in it. You've lived in a house your entire life. And now when it comes time to investing, your brain gets confused. You don't know what to do. You know this product. You've been driving by this product your entire life. You've lived in it. Your friends have lived in it. Your family have lived in it. Everyone around you has lived in a fucking house your entire life. Don't complicate this. It is so simple. Now here's what I did. I want to buy this house. What do I need to do? Well, I need to decide I want to be an investor. Remember Robert Kiyosaki and the line? So now I'm an investor. I'm investing in a house. What does an investor need? Investor needs money. So here's time. This is the amount, right? The house is going to give us the rate of return, or I keep changing the word, yield or rate. So the house is going to determine the rate. So you can save the money. You have control over that. And time's going to take care of itself, but we'll put the investor part in time, because time is going to work for you. I'm going to show you how this one house is going to make you rich. And then the rate of return is going to be calculated by a couple different things. But this house is going to put money in your pocket. Okay? How are we doing on time? We're doing all right. Can you hear me over there? All right, because I can hear you. So this is a house. So we need to now there's a lot of gurus that are going to teach you all kinds of bullshit. There's going to be people who are going to try to teach you how to do all this with no money down. I can't teach you that because I think that's all bullshit. So I don't want to bother wasting your time with a bunch of bullshit hype and stuff and selling you stuff. I'm just going to show you how I do it. This is how I do it, okay? But I work hard. And if you don't want to work hard, if that seems like too much of a struggle for you, don't do what I'm about to show you, because the way I do it is hard work. And this is what I do. I save up money, controlling the amount, right? And I save up 20%. So let's say this house costs $150K. What is 20%? So we're back to math. I'm going to need $30,000. Now, it's important for you to understand you don't lose the money. So when you save this money, it goes from your checking account to your equity account. So people sometimes act like they've lost their money. You didn't lose anything. You just switched it from one account to another. Instead of being in Bank of America, it's now in an asset that you control, real estate. So you've lost nothing. You have no money gone, right? You got to get this philosophy. This is the philosophical side of this, right? So you have this. You still have the money. It's still your money. It's now in the form of equity and not in the form of, what's up? No, it's in the form of equity and not in checking, okay? Now here's the difference. Equity appreciates 4 to 7% a year. So instead of sitting in the bank getting fucking nothing, your money's now getting 4 to 7% a year in the form of a house, just sitting in a house. If you make no money on the house, if you break even on the house is going up 4 to 7%. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's add a couple more things in our house here. Drew my house too big. Because we put 30% down, this is what's so important about the percentage, we now leveraged our money, what? 5 to 1. So for every dollar, you've got $5 in investing. And this is why this works better than the stock market. Your money is leveraged. So the $30,000 now controls an asset of $150,000. The entire asset is appreciating 4 to 7%, not your $30,000. You're leveraged 5 to 1. So when this $150,000 house goes up 5%, what is that going to be? Looks like $7,000. Let's go $7,500. So at the end of the year, this house will be worth $7,500 more than you paid for it. How much do you have in it? $30,000. Well, that looks a lot like, when you divide those two, what does that look like? That's a hell of a lot more than 10%, right? So we have that going. We're just getting started on the house. Now, because we put down such a large deposit and we got 20%, we do our mortgage and our taxes and our insurance, it's probably going to come around $900 holding costs. Again, work with me on the numbers. This is just general principle. So about $900 is your cost, and you're going to rent this between $1,200 and $1,300, right? It's leaving you a cash flow profit of anywhere from $200 to $400 a month. Times that times 12. Now with the $7,500, let's add 25. What are we at now? We are at $10,000. $10,000 on your $30,000 return. Not all in your hands. Some of it is in the form of equity, but we've already said equity's good as money, except it's leverage times 5 growing. And we've got cash flow. Oh, but now we're going to pay down the loan. So every month, part of the payment goes to pay the bank back. Thank you, Mr. Bank, being our business partner, right? The bank is our business partner. They're the ones that gave us the 5 leverage. They're the ones that helped us leverage our money. So they get a cut too. They get in on the deal. And so Mr. Tenant pays us. We're the landlords. We're responsible for this contraptment here. They send us money. We pay the bank the $900. And about, let's just say $150 of that goes to the mortgage. Let's say $2,000 a year. So we're paying down the loan $2,000 a year. We can go ahead and add that over here to our total return. And now we're looking at a total return on one house is $12,000 a year on top of your 30. So after year 1, you're sitting at $42,000, not $30,000 in this house. If you were to sell the house, you get the price that it's increased. The loan has gone down. See, house goes up, loan goes down, cash flow in your pocket. Cash flow in your pocket, and it's all tax-free through depreciation. Now multiply that out times 10 years, and 30,000 becomes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I have 15 of these houses. 15 houses. One door. Send me money every month to the tune of about $12,000. Every month. People go work all month to give me most of their money. This is not my job. This is not my job. This is not what I do for a living. This is my investments. It's my investments. And so inside of this idea of the money flow and the blueprint and the science of getting rich and all this other stuff that I'm talking to you about, this is one thing that you can invest in, a house. Now, the story changes when we get into stocks and funds and high yield things. These are just one of about 60 things that I have money in that send me money every month. And all I did was simply follow a pattern, a blueprint, a map to do that. Anybody can do that. Do me a favor, subscribe and follow. I love teaching this stuff. We'll go a little deeper. And I'm going to keep going down this idea of the Millionaire Blueprint. I think this is part, 3 or 4? And we'll take little stops where we stop and I'll discuss the actual things that I'm investing in. So this is a house. A house is super simple. You make money on a house 4 ways. 4 ways. How do you make money with a house? Appreciation. So the house goes up in value, right? Number 2, cash flow. That's that money. This comes off your down payment. So the money you put in, remember the factor? I-T. So cash flow. And what we got? Loan pay down. So every month the loan's paid down, loan pay down. And then number 4, what? Depreciation. So we get to depreciate it. So these are the 4 ways you're going to make money with real estate to get a total return. It's not just about cash flow. It's not just about the price going up. It's also about the loan being paid down. It's also about you being fully responsible. See, getting rich is just a mathematical formula. I showed you that. It starts at 40 years. Anybody in fucking America can play the 40-year to $1 million game. Anybody. They just choose not to participate and find excuse after fucking excuse of why they can't. Now, they got shoes, they go on vacation, they do Christmas, they got a car, they smoke crack, they got heroin, they got girlfriends, they do Christmas, but there's no fucking way they could come up with $100 to $200 to play this game. Now, you have to decide. Are you going to play the game, or is 40 years too fucking... See, if you're not even doing this, you're probably not watching me, okay? If you're not even playing this game, I don't know what to tell you. But let's say you are playing this game. This is the game most people are playing. Most middle-class people are playing this game. They go to work, they put chump change in their retirement, and they're playing this game. I decided to shorten this. Let's take this down to 15 years. Now, once I started at 15, I did the math, and then I took it to 8. So it's up to you. I can help you get it to 8, though.